Hello, we have returned, and I am visible. Amazing.
Amazing.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Maybe Yuka has given me a virus. Just a little bit.
Look, both Son and V got to be first.
Son and V.
Son and Steve. Steve.
I was about to say, who the fuck are you adopting now?
I've adopted Steve.
Well, Steve, I'm sorry. I really am. Anyway, yeah, it's the return of Yuka. Will Yuka be Southern? Probably not, considering this version of Yuka is being voiced by him.
By me. Probably horrendously, but it's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, we don't know what happened there. We went live and it was fine, and then he tried to swap over screens, and his computer just went, time for nap.
Peter was like,
Honk.
but it's fine.
Thank you for bearing with us while we fix that. We appreciate.
We do much appreciate. I would say this is not an accurate representation of our streams, but this probably happens to us every other week at some point.
Yeah.
If not this, then the power going out because some fucker's drilling into the wall, or some car has crashed into the fucking transformer, you know, something.
It's fine. It wouldn't be a Cryptic Spirit stream without the scuff.
Yes, we have the stuff. The stuff.
I hope everyone's having a great week so far. I know it's only Wednesday, but we can be hopeful.
Only Wednesday, don't say it like that. Ugh, I don't want to think about the fact it's only Wednesday. Why is the death counter up? Go away.
No death counter.
Yeah, all of my fucking settings and shit just went all over the place when my computer restarted. So, like the stream name had to be re-updated. I had to re-update the file location for my models. Like, a bunch of shit was visible that shouldn't have been. You know, it's great.
It was just chaos.
Chaos. But it's fine because we have a game and Spirit is going to take the mouse because the controller for this game still doesn't work.
Yeah, we tried. It does not work. It was refusing. Anyway, before we start, would you like to read the content warning?
No.
No, you want me to do it?
I don't have my mouse. I can't scroll through it, so.
Oh, can you not see?
No.
I see. This game includes graphic depictions of violence and several troubling themes centered around abuse. The final door includes torture, murder, beheading, breaking bones, human trafficking, slavery, child abuse, emotional abuse, severed limbs, psychological manipulation, imprisonment resulting in death, suicide, the murder of sex workers, misogyny, paedophilia, and child sexual abuse.
Fun.
It's a dark chapter, this one.
I mean, if I didn't think so before.
Yeah. Like, the chapters just kept getting worse.
They really do. It's like, they're like, how can we top it from the last chapter?
Hi, Kayla. Yes, you've joined in with a game with many, many warnings. But it's fine.
We're still fairly early in on the chapter, so it's not going to come into
Shit
play
hasn't
till
hit the
later.
fan yet.
Yeah, I named this part of the chapter the way I did because I think we mostly just hang out with not Yuka for a while.
Not yuka.
Not Yuka.
See.
You know what? Inspect.
Inspect the memories. Just sleep through it.
You can skip to the next line. I always save one line before I need to because I'm afraid of saving one line after I need to.
Yeah.
Did you just get back? The Saintess was telling me you went to see Nellie. What do you think? Sweet girl, isn't she? That she is. Though she can be a bit of a handful at times. I'm glad you could keep her company for a bit. Now, just to be sure, you kept a lid on all your crazy talk, right?
You plan to sleep through this, son? That's fair. Let's just hope it doesn't give you nightmares.
It's fine. The only thing giving me nightmares lately is Fallout for some reason. I keep having really weird Handmaid's Tale meets Fallout dreams. And it is some of the scariest shit.
Sounds it.
Like, it's so fucking weird. Like, the one I had last night, at some point, Spirit lost his body and was just a talking head under my arm for, like, the rest of the dream. I was just running around carrying him, dodging bullets. And he was just saying things like, I can't even think of any of the one-liners you had, but you were just making one-liners the whole time. Just making jokes about it.
Sounds like the kind of thing I would do.
Yeah. You were just making jokes, and I'm like, I'm trying not to die, and you're like, do I look like I give a fuck? Oh, you also didn't have a nose, you know, ghoul and all.
Oh, ghoul and all, yeah.
No nose.
Oh, that makes sense.
You were like
touring apartments is exhausting.
You were basically a human bowling ball with attitude.
A human bowling ball. I see.
She treated me to some tea and nothing more. By the way, I can only see the chat that has happened since my computer has uncrashed, so anyone who may have said hello beforehand that I have missed, hello. I promise I'm not ignoring you. I can just only see the chat since Sun grabbed the first thing again. Yoink. That was the first thing I could see, was the yoink.
The yoink.
Ah, the stuff with the flower petals in it, yeah? She thinks it's some kind of charm to make it taste better. Girls seem to have a thing for stuff like that. Mel. Could you spare a bit of your time for me? We need to talk. Haven't had a dream in a long time, have you? Aw, there.
Only you're allowed to bully Steve.
Oh, why is only Son allowed to bully Steve? This is something I missed when I was trying to get everything back up.
Steve said that the reason Twitch was crapping out on us is because Twitch didn't want him to have first. And it worked after V grabbed first, so only Son is allowed to bully Steve.
I see. Only Son can be first.
Only Son.
Oh, sure. Can it wait a bit, though? I have to run a little errand after supper. When I'm done with that, I'll meet you in your room. Alright.
You think the errand is...
Bringing Morgana her meal, presumably. We might be able to catch the three of them opening the door if we trail Mel. That sounds like a really poor idea.
It really does. It's too big a risk. Mel's already wary enough as is.
I concur. And we don't know how the other two might react either. It's best to play it safe. No one's going to come to our defense if we're caught. Not at this point in time. So you'd be better off waiting in our room.
Agreed.
For anybody who wasn't here last week, by the way, she is now a voice in his head. So Giselle does not have a physical form right now. She's just a voice going...
Whisper the voices in your head. Listen to them. Listen to them.
Though winter has receded and spring is well upon the land, there is still a sharp chill to the night air. Even with the window shut, the wind still manages to slip through the cracks, making the candle flame waver. Neither Gisela or I saw much of anything. Say much of anything.
It's me from your dream. Me just making sassy comments as you're running for your life.
I was running for my life, running from a bunch of raiders in president masks.
Wow.
It was quite a thing.
Yeah, that is quite the dream.
Yeah. Also, Mike Pence's wife was there. She was like the one person that survived the group of people I happened to be standing in when everyone got murdered. Don't ask me how.
Don't know.
She's like the one survivor. Makes me think she was in on it.
In on it.
She let the raiders in.
Yeah.
I mean, I could tell people about my dream if they're really interested in hearing about it, but you know, you have to ask. But nevertheless, when she does speak, the sound of her voice, soft and pleasant, relaxes my nerves. The faint sound of her breathing reminds me I'm not alone, that she's there, always watching over me. When the candle is about half gone, the door swings open. Sorry it took so long. What did you want to talk about? You didn't bring anyone with you? No, I didn't. Who did you think I would bring? No one, I was just checking. Now, I'll get straight to the point. You're afflicted with a great deal of remorse, are you not, Mel? Pardon? I know what you're doing, what you're involved in. I know the girl at the top of the observation tower very well. Her name is Morgana, and you have imprisoned her in the tower. The door requires 3 keys to open, of which you possess 1. You need her for her miracle blood. How? I came here to stop you. How did you know any of that? It's not possible that she could have told anyone. Did one of them tell you? No, it wasn't them. I was told all of this by Morgana herself. How could she? What I'm about to tell you is going to seem impossible, but every word of it is the truth. I am not from this time. Many, many years after her death, Morgana's soul told me what happened to her. What are you even talking about? She's still alive? You're not from this time? What? Are you mad? Can you come up with any other explanation for how I would know everything that I know? There is a single window at the top of the room, or in the room at the top of the tower. A small insignificant thing that sits high on the wall, and entirely useless for communicating with the outside world. In 3 days' time, during the Harvest Festival, Morgana will die. And I must prevent that from happening. Prevent it? To do that, I need your key. Will you give it to me? There you go, talking nonsense again. You know, I warned you not to kick up any dust, for your own sake. But I guess that didn't get through, huh? I don't care who you are or where you came from. All that matters is that you intend to stand in our way. What, did you think I was just a helpless little boy? That you could take my key without any trouble? Well, you'd be right about that. If it was only me, stealing my key and setting her free would be a trivial matter. But it's not only me. And the other 2, they won't hesitate to kill you. Your life, anyone's life, means nothing to them. You don't know what they're like, how terrifying they can be. They're killers. I'll tell them everything you told me. I'll tell them you know our secret. And don't come crying to me when they come for you. I warned you. Is that what you want? Will you find the comfort you seek by being their devoted little slave and keeping Morgana imprisoned in that tower? What else can I... If you feel at all ashamed about your part in this, if you want to do something to correct it, then you need to take that step. You can't fix this problem on your own, no. But I'm here to help. I'm not ashamed about anything. Don't lie to yourself. Don't act like you know how I feel. What the hell is your deal anyway? You show up out of nowhere spouting all this "I'll save you and I'm here to help" rubbish. You need to do this for your sister. See, now that's ridiculous. If I wash my hands of this, I won't have access to the witch's blood anymore. Oh, I'm sorry your Wi-Fi is glitching, Kayla.
Oh, it's okay. Thank you for being here. Mwah.
Hope you have the good eat soon.
Yes, hopefully you can get to sleep soon.
And without that, Nellie can't get any better. She'll die without that blood. Her blood has no miraculous healing powers. You only believe it does, making it appear to work. You're mad. Morgana's blood is not curing Nellie. In fact, it may very well be killing her.
Bye-bye, love you.
Bye-bye. Mwah. No, if you keep giving her that blood, Nellie will lose her life during the Harvest Festival. What? What?
What?
You're standing on the precipice of a horrific tragedy. I kept wanting to say horrible, and I'm like, that's not a B. That's not a B. Not a B.
It's not a gold full of bees.
No. It's not a gourd full of bees. A horrific tragedy. And you're gonna take everyone down with you if you don't turn back now. What are you? All 3 of you are going to lose everything on the day of the festival. And there's only one way to prevent that. You have to set Morgana free. You're insane if you think I would believe that. Nellie's going to die? Could you have told the more mean-spirited lie? You're the one who's trying to kill her. I'm just trying to save her. And you're going about it the entirely wrong way. Do you have any idea how lonely your sister is right now? You should be at her side. That's what you should be doing instead of stealing a poor girl's blood. I've heard enough. What do you know? If I lose Nellie, I'll have no one. My whole world will collapse. This was the only way I could keep that from happening. This was my best option, my only option. So no, I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna keep Morgana locked up, and I'm gonna keep stealing her blood. And I'll hand you over to the other 2. I'll have them kill you. You'll regret ever showing your face.
Mel, is that really true?
What?
Do you really have the scientist locked up?
Why? What are you doing here, Nellie?
That man told me I had to talk to you. And he said if I didn't have the courage to do it myself, to wait outside his room tonight, because he was going to get the truth from you.
You conniving son of a... You were planning this all along. Why would you tell Nellie? Why would you bring her, of all people, into this?
Mel? Tell me, Mel. Is it true?
Nellie,
Are you really keeping the scientist prisoner and stealing her blood? And you said you would have him killed. I never thought you were such a terrible person, Mel. I can't believe you would do such despicable things. No, you're not my brother anymore.
Nellie!
Michael, go after her.
Alright, save.
Sav.
Do the Sabe.
Do the Sabe.
And we gotta stay here.
Stay.
We can't leave him alone, not like this. Why? Why did it have to turn out like this? Mel, calm down. You need to go after her and tell her the truth. Explain to her how you got involved in this. Why? Mel, it's all because you had to go and spill everything. You have to come clean and you have to do it now. Remember what I said? If you don't act at the Harvest Festival, everything was just fine the way it was. But then you had to show up out of nowhere and ruin everything. Do you honestly think things were fine as they were? Of course they weren't fine, Mel. Be quiet. Shut up, damn you. What the hell's your problem anyway? I told you to keep your head down, didn't I? If you hadn't said anything to Nellie, if you weren't here... Mel, please calm down.
Mel.
You ruined everything. You made a gigantic mess out of my life. Go after Nellie now. If you explain yourself, there's still time to fix things. What do you know? She's just a kid. A little girl who dreams about being a princess and having me for a prince. You destroyed that dream and there's no fixing it. Mel. It's all your fault. With a savage roar, Mel swipes a candlestick off the stand. He rips the candle free, throwing it aside to reveal a metal rod with a sharp tip.
Michael.
This is on you. I'll take care of you myself. Don't do this, Mel. You're better than that. Shut up. You don't know me. You don't know a damn thing about me. I do. I know you wouldn't deliberately harm anyone. Is that what you think? What I tell you, you don't know me at all. I can too. You bet I can. Put that down, Mel. Everyone thinks I'm completely helpless, that I can't do a single thing for myself. Mel! Well, you know what? I can. It's not like I've got anything to lose now. Drop the candlestick, Mel. Don't do this. There's still time. All's not lost yet. Put the candlestick down. Good. Mel's trembling from head to toe. I step forward, trying not to aggravate him any further. I reach out and grab the candlestick in his hand. I can feel his shaking through the cold metal. His fingers were not made to grip weapons, his hands not made to point them at people. Tools meant to cause others harm instead of act upon him. Let go. Mel. The tension dissipates from his arm, and his grip on the candlestick goes loose. Go find Nellie and tell her the truth. She'll hear you out, I'm certain of it. You never wanted to be involved in this, and she'll understand. You're a good man, and she knows. You've misjudged me. What? Me? A good man? If I were such a good person, I wouldn't be holding this thing in the first place.
Michael. Michael? Michael? What's going on out there?
My gaze slides downward.
Oh no, please no.
And there I see the candlestick spike protruding from my neck.
Don't, you can't. Hang in there. No, please. Why? Michael? No, Michael. Michael!
Blood trickles down the golden bronze shaft. As soon as my mind registers this fact, excruciating pain radiates in hot waves from the wound. I make to say something, but all that comes out is a choked gurgle. My ability to speak completely stripped away. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't actually mean to. I'm so sorry. Mel frantically apologizing grows hazy. The world twists and contorts around me. I fall to my knees.
Michael!
And then the rest of me hits the floor.
Michael, please be okay. I'm begging you.
Giselle.
You're still with me. Good. We need a doctor. Mel, listen to me, Mel. You need to get someone. Why can I not get through to him? Why can't I be there? Why do I have to be stuck here? Please, Michael, I beg you, hold on. I can't bear to lose you. Michael? No, please, don't leave me.
Giselle. I'm sorry, I failed you. Oofed.
Michael? Michael! Michael!
I'm sorry I couldn't
Michael!
get you out of...
No, you can't. No!
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, how did you expect the deal with him and Nellie to go? Like, did you think that Nellie was gonna follow him back and over here? Did you?
No.
How did you think, like, with him and Mel talking, how did you think that was gonna shape out?
I don't know. I didn't expect it to go basically the same way as it did before, with the exception of Nellie now being behind. I don't know what I expected. Oofed.
So now we're gonna load and we're gonna go after Nellie.
Go
Fuck
after
Mel.
Nellie.
Fuck Mel, we're gonna leave that rat bastard there to rot. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. Dun, dun, dun.
Inspected.
Inspected. Go after Nellie. I think we should stay here again.
Okay, let's stay here.
Stay here.
We have to stop her, bring her back. Nellie!
Don't follow me. Just go away. Leave me alone.
Stop. If you run from him now, Mel will never come back from this.
Then why did you tell me? Why did you tell me what he was doing? If you hadn't said anything, everything would still be fine. We wouldn't be in this horrible mess. If you hadn't said anything, I could have kept on believing in him.
No, things wouldn't be fine. Why can you not see that? You shouldn't put your faith in your ideal brother. But your real one. The boy in that room is stricken with regret. If I hadn't said anything, the facade would have ruined you both sooner or later. No, in truth, your relationship was already broken. You were simply ignoring the spreading cracks. I know on some level you'd realize that Mel was keeping something incredibly important from you. And that secret was tearing you apart.
There's nothing good about this though. No, we'll never go back to the way we were. We can never go back to what it was like when we were kids. Just the two of us, playing together every day, having fun.
Everyone's childhood comes to an end. The flow of time is impartial. You can't fight it. What you can do, what only you can do, is choose how you change.
But...
I will admit I'm the one who opened your wounds, and now I'm putting the responsibility of tending them onto you. It's cruel, I know. But if you don't come to terms with Mel and make him withdraw his participation, an even greater suffering awaits you far in the future. It's not over yet, and you cannot let this be where it ends. The bonds you formed over the years are not yet broken. And you can do what I was never able to. You can still repair your relationship.
But I'm scared.
Yeah, I would be scared too if I found out that my brother was keeping a woman locked up in the attic. Like, that would freak me out. Just a hair, just a little bit.
Just a little smidgen.
Like, what the fuck?
What the fuck?
Hello? The media?
The media? Scared that my brother, that my Mel could do such terrible things. That he could say he would kill you.
Also, is the game audio just a little bit loud? It looks louder than normal. Like, it sounds about the same to me, but it's just registering as louder than normal, so just let me know if it's too loud, guys.
Hopefully it's fine. He used to be such a good brother. He was always so kind, so friendly to everyone. But it was all a lie. It was all a big act to fool me.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Okay. It's just OBS making it look like it's not fine. No, it wasn't all an act. There was truth to it. Who is he?
Oh, big yawns.
He is a kind-hearted boy, an ordinary young man, whose kindness was twisted by circumstance. And it doesn't matter how good a person is. Everyone has the potential to do terrible things when backed into a corner.
You think you know everything?
I know that much. Nellie, if you want your brother back, you have to act now. Please, you must take action.
But I'm scared. What am I supposed to say to him? I don't know.
I'll be there with you. You don't have to face this alone. There's more to this story than we've heard. We don't know how he got himself involved in this. And I mean to get the rest of it out of him. And you need to be there to hear it.
If, when I hear what he has to say, I try to say something I shouldn't. If I try to say something that will ruin everything, you'll stop me. You're the one who told me to open my eyes and face him. You're the one who made this whole mess.
Technically, Mel made this whole mess.
Mel made the whole mess. Michael was trying to fix the mess.
Yeah, Michael's just trying to save someone's life here, you know, no big deal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, albeit for semi-selfish reasons, but still.
Still, he is trying. What am I supposed to do if all this destroys everything I have? You said you'd be my brother, right? So be a good brother and help me out here. Promise me you'll make sure nothing goes bad. You'll do that, won't you?
Aye.
Michael, just say yes. We won't let this go bad. Have faith in yourself. Faith that you put their relationship on track to recovering. Promise her. Give her the courage she wants from you.
You have nothing to fear. I'll be there for you. I'll help you both.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll go back.
Thank you, Giselle.
Oh, don't mention it. Now let's go see what he has to say for himself. Let's draw back that curtain.
Yes, let's. Nellie?
Mel?
What did you come back for? Did you ridicule me? I'm not the brother you thought I was, huh? I'm not at all what you wanted me to be. It's all over. Everything Michael said is true. There's a girl imprisoned in that tower. A completely innocent girl. A girl who saved your life, in fact. Go on, tell me how cruel and terrible and evil I am. I'm no prince. Here's an idea. Why don't you make him your new prince? You can do it, Nellie. Ask him.
You have your reasons, don't you? You have some reason for being a part of this, right?
Reason? Yeah, I have a reason, alright. I wanted to save your life. I needed her blood to cure you, so I had to lock her up.
Tell me the truth. I don't remember much about when the Saintess came to visit, but I do remember a little. I remember her saying she would gladly give whatever she could to the sick and needy. Which means you had no need to lock her up.
It would seem the tale Morgana showed me was true. She really was a saint.
Yes, she was. Tell me the truth, Mel. Tell me everything.
There's nothing to tell.
There is, I know it. There's more to a story than just the facts. The things you thought, the things you felt, are all pieces that combine to make the whole story. Isn't that right, Michael?
You're exactly right. If you hadn't said anything, we could have gone with our lives as normal.
No, Mel, we couldn't have. I thought so too at first, but it's not true. Our normal lives ended long ago. Tell me the truth, Mel. No matter what it is, I can handle it.
No, Nellie, you can't. A girl like you who dreams of becoming a princess couldn't possibly bear to see how hideous her brother has become.
How can I know if you don't say anything, though? That's how it's always been with us. You were nice to me, and that was all I needed. I never looked beyond the surface. I made you into my ideal brother, and I latched onto that image of you. You're a kind person, Mel. You really are. So kind you played along with my fantasy that you were a prince. But you don't have to act for me anymore. I want to know the real you. I'm all done being a princess. I'm just your little sister now. Nothing more. Your one and only little sister, Mel.
No. You need to do this, Mel. You need to tell your story. Until you do, we have no way of understanding what you've been through, what you're going through. No way. If I tell you, you'll lose any hope you had left in me. As Nellie has, you need to release yourself from your own idealized fantasy, Mel. You have someone right here who will accept you for who you are. I know good and well how hard it can be to have someone dear to you see a side of you that you didn't want to show them. I think that you want to get it off your chest, though. And I think you want forgiveness. Fantasies are not everlasting. They all crumble eventually. Show us the real Mel. Tell us your story without embellishments or omissions.
Well,
Okay. I'll tell you. Not like I have any other options. Nellie, if at any point you can't bear to hear it anymore, so be it. You're free to leave whenever you like.
I won't go anywhere. I can almost
Almost.
Almost. There's a slight chance she might disappear. But she'll try.
It's hard to believe she's the same girl who scalped her half-sister and wore her head trying to fuck her own brother.
Yeah.
Like, she's so different.
She really is.
I see her and I blink and I still have that image in my head of her wearing the white-haired girl's head.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh. I pray that ends up being true. Alright, here goes. The whole story, from start to finish, of how I ended up in this mess. Okay, 2 seconds. I just realized something.
Oh.
Maybe.
He has got onto the floor.
Yeah.
He just slid off his chair and was like, floor time.
Floor time. I thought it leaned back when we were demoing them.
It does.
Mine just doesn't.
I don't know what to tell you.
Hello.
Wait.
What if I... I don't know. I'll fuck with it later. I had an idea and I needed to test it right now. Until around the time I turned 17, my life was mostly uneventful. On days when it was nice out, I would take walks on the house's grounds, sometimes napping beneath a tree. It was picturesque, and you were always there with me. You had the same flax-colored hair as me, but yours always seemed to glisten in the sun, whereas mine is flat and dull. You shone like a tiny little dancing sun. At the time, I assumed that was how life would always be. I genuinely wanted it to be. Following my 17th birthday, though, I was met with a deluge of changes. First, Father fell ill and passed away shortly thereafter. With his death came the question of who would be the next head. As the oldest son, normally it would fall on me to take his place. I was 17, by all means enough of an adult to handle things myself. Or, well, that's what I thought anyway. Nobody else did, though. After discussions I had no part in, it was decided my uncle would be the next head. That they weren't confident that I had the spine to do the job properly. I wasn't sure what to think. Part of me wanted to know why nobody bothered talking to me, and part of me was relieved. Somewhere inside I knew I didn't have what it took, so I was more than happy to let someone else take that responsibility. If it meant I could go on with my quiet life, I didn't care who they picked. My uncle, though, seemed to have caught on to my apathy, which he did not take kindly to, and in response he formally disowned me. You're not the one who still had some growing up to do, Nellie. I wasn't quite the adult I thought I was, either. Fortunately, if you want to call it fortune, I was given enough money to live on for a decent length of time, as well as a place to stay. It was a small house far from home, his way of making it hard for me to come back. Not that I had any intention of returning. But best thing to come out of it all was you coming with me, Nellie.
So this is our new home, dearest Mel.
Yep, so it is. It's amazing how little there is. No big yard, no paintings, no vases filled with colorful flowers, no silver bowls of fresh picked fruit.
But there is you and me.
You're not going to go and say that you want to return home in a couple of months when you realize life isn't as luxurious here as it was back there, are you?
There's only one thing in the whole wide world I really need.
Oh?
Honestly, I can live without shiny shoes and pretty dresses like Mother wears. I don't need composers to come and write me songs for my birthday. As long as I have the one thing that matters to me most, I can do without anything else.
Are you saying?
I'm as happy as I've ever been. I don't need all that fancy, expensive stuff. We may not have a huge yard, but the sun shines everywhere. Flowers can grow even without a gardener tending to them.
Nellie.
I'll do whatever I can for you, dearest Mel. Are you hungry? I'm hungry.
Oh, yeah, a bit.
Good evening, Mr. Roy. Welcome in.
Good evening, hello.
Hello.
I take it you made it to Glasgow since you weren't at the weekend ones.
Yeah, how did that go? Alright, I'll make something then. Start off with some fruit jam, then maybe make a pie out of it.
Hello.
Hello. What else sounds good? I'm craving cookies.
You've got quite the sweet tooth. You're gonna make yourself sick like that. Sweets. We could potentially make sweets. Make sweets after stream, perhaps.
Perchance.
Oh my god, we got milk to make fucking pudding and we haven't made it yet.
Yeah.
We should probably do that before the milk goes bad.
Probably.
Aw. Well, I'm sorry she was there, but, hopefully it was still fun.
Yeah, it sounds like the rest of it was fun.
I'm still jealous over the sauna. It's like, see, a sauna would be a very hit or miss for me. I've had heat stroke a few times. I have to be very careful about how warm I get.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea of a sauna sounds really fun. I would just have to see if in practice it's something I could actually do.
Yeah.
Because I really want to give it a try at some point.
Yeah.
I would just have to go to like one of those saunas that's also like a bathhouse or something attached to it so that if I can't do the sauna, we've not wasted our money.
Yeah. That's the first smile I've seen since we got here. It's not all a sauna.
Yes, exactly. That's the kind of sauna I need to go to. Not all sauna, but like part sauna.
Part sauna.
That can't be right. I'm sure I've been smiling.
No, you've been frowny all day.
I can't believe you've been frowny all day, Mel.
Fuck's sake, where's the positivity, Mel?
Whatever you say.
Forget about all that stuff at home.
I was gonna say, how was our weekend? I was sick.
Yeah, we were ill over the weekend.
I got really sick. I actually had to take an extra day off work because I wasn't better by the end of Sunday. But I got plenty nice naps in. Not that you'd be able to tell with all my yawning.
No.
But like I'm always very yawny. I yawn a lot. I don't know why I yawn so much.
Just always eepy.
I'm just always yawning.
No.
See, I'm not even always tired when I yawn, so I don't even fucking know. Because, like, I'm actually getting a reasonable amount of sleep now. That was something, I had a doctor's appointment recently, and that was something I talked to my doctor about. I was like, I'm sleeping more than, like, 5 hours a night now. And she was like, ooh, that's fancy. I was like, yeah, fancy.
Have you changed your V-face?
My V-face. Have I?
He's had this visage for quite a while.
This is human form.
It's human form, Kryptic.
Yes, but there is a redeem to put me back in demon form if you would like me in demon form, whichever you prefer. So, blue hair, human. Red hair, demon.
Yes.
That's the easiest way to tell.
I don't have one like that. I have regular outfit, I have maid outfit, and then I have in my pajamas.
In your pajama.
It'll be the hair colour that's different.
Yeah. It's the hair, because like the hair and my cheeks are fuller.
Yes.
When
Cheeks.
I'm in my demon form, I'm a little bit bonier.
Yes. We've got each other. We can do this.
I almost read your line.
Who cares that we're not rich anymore? We'll figure things out in no time. And then we'll have even more fun than we did back there.
Yeah, you're right.
It'll all work out, dearest Mel. I'll always be here for you.
I definitely think what I was messing with is what causes the chair to lean back, because I couldn't lean back at all before. That's it. I can just...
You can very slightly go, oop.
Yep. It's fine. When we're on our break, I'm gonna fuck with it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I'll fuck with it while you get the cigarettes.
Okay. You've got yourself an adorable little princess. What more could you possibly need?
That's fine. I'm gonna mess with my knob.
I'm gonna mess with your knob on the break. Cheer up.
Thanks. I'm really glad you decided to come with me.
Oh, did you think for a second I wouldn't? I'm your princess, dearest Mel. And princesses belong with their princes.
I suppose so. Until that day, I'd never known how good it felt to have someone who wanted me in their life. Who saw me for me. I realized for the first time how blessed I had always been. I was hardly prince material. I wasn't strong or handsome or regal enough for that. But Nellie calling me her prince gave me the illusion of being worth something. It made me feel like I could keep on being that richly blessed young man, even this far away from home. While I'd been given some money, my supply was far from infinite. I knew I would eventually have to find some kind of work, some way to support myself and Nellie. But to be quite honest, I couldn't gather the motivation to do much of anything.
Fail.
My whole life had just changed so abruptly, so dramatically, that my mind wasn't able to keep up. What? What?
Like, felt angry. Me not having the motivation to do fucking anything.
Oh, I see.
I've been not bad lately.
He finished a commission,
I finished a commission.
so he just have 2 more.
2 more.
Mine and not mine.
Yes.
The one that cannot be drawn on the stream because it has the boobies, and then the one that probably could be drawn on the stream.
Yeah.
Because it has the boobies, but the boobies are covered up.
They're covered.
My boobies in my commission are not covered.
No. Thank you. Took me a while, but I did it.
And it knocked me on my backside, and I didn't have the strength to get back up. I couldn't tell Nellie that, of course, so this is what I said instead. I'm staying home because I want to live with you as much as possible. And she happily took me at my word. Honk!
Honk if you're winning.
Honk!
Honk.
Honk, honk, honk!
I think the train is winning.
Our new life together was quiet and unremarkable. Oh, you think so?
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if this is the cars not letting it pass again.
Probably.
So the train track goes over the road, but the problem is that the cars like to try and chance it for driving in front of the train, but sometimes they chance it and there's nowhere to go, so they just park on the track as the train is coming full speed at the car.
Mm-hmm.
And so the train will have to aggressively hit the brakes to not hit the car, and then they'll just sit there and honk for like a half hour, because once the train is stopped on the tracks, the cars just keep going. They don't stop for it. They will not let the train get back started. So sometimes it'll be parked there as much as an hour waiting to be able to go.
Yep.
Like, this train has to be so late on its shipments because of that.
It has to be. Like, it sits out there for so long, just honking at the cars so that it can try and get by, and none of the cars stop for it. Like, the poor guy operating the train.
I feel so bad for whoever operates that train. That poor person.
They must be fucking bored of this.
Yeah.
The same shit day in, day out.
And the thing is, it's not even a long train. It's very short.
Yeah.
It's maybe 4 times the length of our apartment. Maybe.
Maybe.
It's a very short train. So to let it pass would take not even a minute. It takes like 30 seconds to let this thing pass. It's so small.
Yeah.
Oh, did he? No. I'll have to take a look. I don't think I've seen that one. I've seen a little bit of John Oliver, but not a whole lot. Like, I've seen bits whenever I let YouTube go for a while. It'll eventually pull them up.
It's on YouTube. We'll keep an eye out for that then.
Yeah, because
the list of things to watch.
YouTube just likes to assume that that's what I want. And it's really funny because I'll be listening to, like, deep dives into the sociology of Family Guy. And then it'll be like, John Oliver? And I'm like, what the... It's like, I'm not dissing the fact that it's giving me John Oliver, but what the fuck does it have to do with Family Guy?
You're watching a video essay on why fucking Bob from Bob's Burgers loves his wife, and then suddenly it's like, John Oliver?
Yeah, like, John Oliver? And I'm like, see, great suggestion, but what the fuck do these things have in common? Or it's even weirder because, like, lately it's been trying to suggest makeup tutorials. So I'll be watching something like why Haley and her dad could never properly have a healthy relationship in American Dad.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be like, would you like to learn how to do cat eyes? And I'm like, no. No. I do not use the makeups. Not often anyway. Like, I wear makeups for streams, but that is it. I have, like, one look. One look. You just get true crime, that's fair.
That was my YouTube recommendations a few years ago.
You were getting nothing but Dahmer at one point.
Yeah.
Because you kept showing me. You're like, I didn't realize there were so many videos on this one fucking guy.
Yeah.
Even so, it was a constant stream of new experiences for the two of us, having been pampered our entire lives.
Welcome home, dearest Mel. What did you buy today?
I got a chicken.
Wow, I've never seen one up close before. Are we going to keep it as a pet?
I was planning on using it for supper.
Oh, son also gets true crime.
Well, I mean, of course Son gets true crime.
Team true crime. You're going to cook it?
That's the idea. You like chicken though, don't you? Steamed especially, if I remember right.
Yes, but it's all covered in feathers
But it's
and
Daryl.
flopping around.
But it's Daryl.
It's Daryl. We can't cook Daryl. How are we supposed to cook it?
If I remember, the guy said you have to pluck its feathers off, and then cut off its head and drain all the blood.
She is not impressed.
No.
She is unamused.
Your son is about to be dinner.
Ew. No way. Absolutely not. Not in a million years. You do it, Mel.
What? I've never done this before.
Well, I'm not, so you do it.
Alright. I'll bring it to the...
Not inside, do it outside.
Okay. And the chicken probably gets away.
Escape.
Like, could you imagine having to do that when you're outside with nothing to corral the chicken?
Yeah.
It's just whoop, 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 whoop. I've never had to slaughter a chicken before. The chefs back home always took care of it. God, I hope I don't screw this up. Well, I'm not going to accomplish anything if I just sit here worrying. Just gotta give it my best shot. Oh, please. Please don't put up a fight. I can't watch. On the count of 3, okay? The count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Wait. Come back. It's gone.
Daryl escaped. He made it.
Yeah, don't worry. If they were actually gonna kill the chicken, I would have put it in the content warning.
He escaped.
At first, I was just fumbling around in the dark, constantly messing up everything I tried. But in time, I started getting more comfortable with things, and I stopped fighting for my old life. For the longest time, I couldn't shake the memory of the fact that I had once been a noble. I was constantly wondering how I had ended up there, and why this was happening to me. Nellie seemed to have adjusted fairly quickly, but I wasn't faring so well. I was surprised, honestly. I figured if anyone was going to have an issue with our new lifestyle, it was going to be her, not me. Back home, Nellie tended to be, well, a bit of a princess. She was frequently harsh with the Abigails, scolding them for the smallest of things. There were times I thought she might be biting her tongue for my sake, but every time it crossed my mind, she would say, "I've got you, dearest Mel. Everything's just fine." And it was those words that kept me going.
Oh, dearest Mel, I just had the most wonderful idea. Would you like to hear it?
Sure, what's your idea?
We should get married.
Yay-haw! There's a Mel, an L, and a Daryl.
Yeah. All names that I can't pronounce properly because accent.
Accent.
I have to put, if I try to pronounce these names properly, I have to put so much fucking effort into making the L sound.
Here, say them.
Normally, or
Just say them.
Mel, Nell, and Daryl.
No, say them with the emphasis.
Mel, Nell, and Daryl.
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 Daryl. Daryl.
See, Mel and Nell didn't sound that bad, but Daryl, holy crap.
I had to copy the sound. Mel, Nell, Lee, and Daryl.
Daryl.
Fucking names, honestly.
Well, you can't be serious.
As serious gets.
Wait, what?
I mean, we're basically married and everything already, and everything but name.
I was about to ask what she couldn't be serious about, and then I remembered.
She's like, we should get married.
We can't do that. We're siblings. Siblings, Nellie. No.
No, Nellie. Nobody here needs to know that.
I feel like we should clarify that me and Spirit are not siblings.
We're not siblings.
We're not siblings, and we don't have any family connections up to 10 generations and 10 times removed. I've checked.
You've checked.
I've checked. I was doing my family tree and I got bored, so I checked.
I see.
So if you go 10 generations back, up to 10 times removed, we got no one.
I see.
So, if that makes you feel any better.
I guess so.
I did that with a couple of my friends, and we actually had people like 8 generations back, a couple times removed. We're like, oh, hey, look, we've got like a great aunt 4 times removed in common.
That's what the Aussie.
No, I swear I checked. I don't know what I would have done if I'd found out different.
Sobbed.
There was something I learned when I was doing genealogy stuff. I want to say it's most people are related most people are related if you go far enough back.
Yeah.
I want to say it's 15 generations. You go back 15 generations and then you trace that out this way, and you end up related to like tens of thousands of people.
I see.
So, especially if you live in a similar area with somebody, you trace it 10, 15, 20 generations back, and you're going to be related somehow.
Don't talk about incest.
A new flat. Again.
Again. Is this one even better? I hope so.
Also, can you explain the joke there? Because I don't get it. Are you not familiar with the place? No. Well, I'm assuming it's like the Alabama.
Far better than by yourself. That's good. Finally, peace.
Is it like the Alabama of Scotland, maybe?
Maybe.
Yay, how? They can guess from our hair and eye color, though.
It's a very small island on the west coast, so everyone
okay.
else would probably relate it.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't think we look that much alike.
Anyway, whatever gave you that idea?
If we get married, then we can be together forever.
And you can have weird babies with 3 eyes. Like, you know, not gonna say anything bad about somebody who happens to have 3 eyes on their face, but incest does increase your chances of
She's good at in circles.
see, like there's nothing wrong with being a person with a physical deformity, but the chances of having a child that's going to have usually a particularly fatal physical deformity go up significantly when you start breeding with your siblings. So maybe we shouldn't do that.
Maybe you should think of another idea, Nellie.
Maybe this is a really crappy idea, Nellie. What did I say?
Melly.
I'm blaming Mel for all of Nellie's mistakes. It's fine. He deserves some blame. Like, look at him. He deserves it.
Yeah.
We can do just as well as brother and sister.
It's not the same, though. No one ever says 2 siblings lived happily ever after.
Mostly because siblings can't live happily ever after they're gonna fight to death.
Stop it.
They sit there and go, yeah! Slap.
I want to be with you for the rest of my life, dearest Mel. And the best way to do that is to get married.
But Nellie...
What are you so hesitant for? Is there someone you pine for?
No, but...
Then there's no problem.
We're blood-related siblings. Christ on a bike. Does she not realize that by getting married, it means we'll eventually have children and everything that leads up to that? That goes against the teachings of the Lord. No, she's still just a kid chasing after a fairy tale ending. She doesn't understand the reality of what she's saying. Sometimes I'm not sure what to do with you, Nellie. It seems like their age gap is much bigger here.
It does seem that way.
Because I think they were only, 2 years apart?
Yeah.
Before?
Yeah.
But, well, I guess later. Not before, but later.
Later. In the future.
In the future.
So you'll marry me?
But right now, I know you need God's word. Starting tonight, you're getting your own private sermon every night, understand?
Bleh.
My thoughts exactly.
Bleh.
Bleh. My instruction was for as much my own sake as it was for Nellie's. I'm not gonna lie, the thought did cross my mind that her proposition might not be so bad.
Bleh.
Mel!
Mel, no!
No! For one, I couldn't imagine spending the rest of my life with anyone else, and it had been her smile that kept me going when things got difficult. I can't even.
No.
I'm disgusted.
Fuck's sake.
I'm disgusted. Mel, you are making me need a cigarette, like, so fucking bad right now. I need to go out, and I need to pollute the air just a little bit to, like, deal with this bullshit, Mel.
Fuck's sake.
Nellie, I'm excusing, because at this point, I think she's, like, 9 years old.
Yeah.
And this is gonna be really fucking gross, and I'm sorry. I went through a stage like that, but it was because of some really weird behavior that a certain family member exhibited.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they kept basically parading the fact that they were the perfect husband in my face.
Mm.
And, you know, I was like 5.
Yeah.
And so I said something like that. But, you know, it's like, she's under the age of 10. She doesn't know what she's talking about. I was under the age of like 10. I don't know what I was talking about. It's fine. You just... But Mel! You are 17 years old.
You should know better.
You should know better.
That is a cursed hashtag.
Give me that bro dick.
Give me that bro dick.
Give me that bro dick. It's like, I will take bro dick, or girl dick, or bussy, or pussy, or I don't know. I can't think of non-binary versions of those words.
No.
I can't think of it. No.
No.
Well, my brain is just not braining.
It's not braining.
I knew it was a sin, and I didn't think I'd be able to live with myself if I crossed that line. So night after night I taught her, reminded her that we were brother and sister, and that we didn't have to be anything more for her to be the most important person in the world to me. After about our 3rd month away from home, that life began crumbling. Nellie woke up one day with a high fever that refused to break. At first, I thought it was just a cold and she'd be over it soon enough. But as much as I tried to convince myself, oh, she'll be better tomorrow, she just kept getting worse, until eventually she couldn't even get out of bed. She had visibly lost weight, and I never heard her voice so weak and lethargic before. Is there anything you'd like me to get you, Nellie?
All I want is you to be here with me, dearest Mel.
You really should eat something. I'll make something you like. How about a nice, expensive chicken? The last one got away, but I won't let it happen this time.
I'm not really in the mood for anything too heavy.
Oh, okay.
Don't you worry, Mel. I'll be better before you know it.
Yeah, you will. You'll be just fine. Everything's gonna go back to normal soon. Watching Nellie grow weaker every day scared the hell out of me. I desperately did not want to lose her. If I lost her, then who would be left that wanted me? Who would tell me I was worth something? Who would say nice things about me? Who would be there with me every day? Just when I'd started to feel optimistic about this new life, just started to feel comfortable with it, it was looking like it all might fall apart again. I searched everywhere for some medicine that could cure her. Healthy foods, fruits, vegetables, with supposed medicinal properties, anything I could get my hands on. I prayed. And Nellie, you were overjoyed. You were thrilled I would go to such lengths for you. But the reality is, I was really doing it for myself. But as much as I searched, I couldn't find anything that worked, and I started to panic. I would go to bed at night, afraid that I'd wake up the next morning and Nellie wouldn't. I was already grasping at straws, and I was ready to try anything that had even the slightest chance of curing her. And then one day I heard whispers. Whispers of a witch who lived by the lake. They say she was a recluse, that she hardly ever left her house, and that she hadn't been down to the city in years. They told me she might have some medicinal herbs that could help, so I rushed down to the lake to see her. Sitting by the shore was a small cottage, even less luxurious than where Nellie and I were living at the time. Seeing the thin trail of smoke rising from the chimney, I was convinced the rumors were true. A witch lived in that house. I wasn't sure what to expect. Being a recluse, I figured she wasn't going to be very sociable, at least. To tell you the truth, I was kind of scared to knock on her door. But I had exhausted all my other options, so I clenched my teeth and gave the door 2 firm rasps.
Dunk. Is this someone we've voiced before?
Yes, this is probably who you think it is.
Who's there?
He wasn't sure, so I was having to make hand gestures. The sound of her voice caught me off guard, and all I could do was stare at the door with a knot in my throat. Based on the information I had assumed I was going to find a wrinkly old woman. But that was the voice of a young girl. Even though she had only said 2 words, there was something indescribably enchanting about that voice. I could listen to her talk for hours on end, in some kind of strange hypnotic trance. It was almost like magic, for lack of a better word. I stood there dumbfounded, like my soul had been sucked from my body.
Who's there?
She repeated her question, which brought me back to reality, though I still had to fight to maintain my wits enough to respond coherently. My sister has fallen very ill, and she desperately needs medicine. I was told that the person who lives here is a skilled herbalist. Could I please get something to treat her?
What are her symptoms?
She's got an extremely high fever that won't come down. She has no appetite, only drinking water, and she can't get out of bed.
We're going to want to lower her fever first. After that, get her on a nutritious diet. I'm going to give you 2 medicines. Give her the first while her fever's high, and the second after it's come down.
Thank you very much. Her voice wasn't bright and energetic like Nellie's. What?
Swifty.
What?
What?
Well, explain.
It's just funny. I don't know. I just thought it was funny.
See, like, I get nothing. Everything goes over my head. It's just like, boom, boom. She was more restrained, somber, and quiet, yet simultaneously clear and sharp. The sound tickled my curiosity. I wanted to know what she looked like. I wanted to know what kind of girl stood on the other side of the door. With a voice that pretty, she must be equally lovely, I thought. And I had to see it for myself. And my wish didn't fall on deaf ears. When she opened the door to hand me the herbal medicine and take my money, her head peeked out between the crack ever so slightly. I had said I would tell you everything exactly as it happened, so I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. It was unsettling. It was nothing like I had imagined from her voice. Her skin had, I guess, fallen off or something, because you could see red, raw flesh beneath. To say it was hard to look at would be an understatement. Most of her face was covered by a black hood, so all I could see was her mouth and chin, but even that much was harrowing. But the last thing I wanted to do was look away. For all I knew, that was why she'd become a recluse. And I couldn't let myself hurt her, so I suppressed my own disgust and put on my best smile. People often tell me I have a very pleasant, amicable smile. So I figured the best I could do was to prevent her from picking up on what was actually going through my mind. And when she saw my face, a look of surprise seemed to cross hers. The witch's herbs did indeed help some. Going to visit was far better than taking her to any of the local doctors. Nonetheless, Nellie hadn't been cured. She was only feeling a little bit better. So I kept paying the witch visits, kept purchasing more herbs from her. And every time I went to that cottage and heard her sweet voice, I imagined how much sweeter it would sound without a door obstructing it. Even knowing what she looked like didn't stop the curiosity from growing within me. From what I'd gathered talking to her, there wasn't much of an age difference between us either. She was 16 and I was 17. Was she?
Yeah.
I thought she died much younger than that. I forgot that she got to be that old.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know how it is when you meet someone around your age, you feel a sort of sense of kinship. Are you okay?
Cramp. Oh my god, ow.
Do we need to take a break?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
The girl I had originally believed to be some kind of otherworldly witch was starting to feel like a regular person to me. Hello! He, I don't know, sat forward, stood up,
I
breathed.
bent my leg in and breathed wrong and my entire leg fucking cramped up. Ow. Sorry.
It's okay.
I can't stretch my leg out because Sock's there and if I kick her she guns at me. Oh.
Through our
Ow.
conversations, I managed to learn her name, as well as the fact that she'd come here from a faraway country.
Okay, I'm good, sorry.
We were both a long way from home. It's okay. It's okay. Thinking she might open up more to someone who'd been through similar experiences, I tried inviting her to go on a walk with me.
Okay, no worries then.
It's not healthy to stay holed up inside all the time. You've got this beautiful lake right here. What do you say we take a little walk around the shoreline? To my surprise, she accepted. Great weather, isn't it? I love the way the sun reflects off the surface of the lake. It's gorgeous. Are you okay?
I'm in disbelief, to tell you the truth.
Huh? What for?
You've seen my face. You know how hideous I am, and yet you still invited me on a walk. You're a very peculiar person.
Is it really that strange? I mean, we're almost the same age, so I figure we might make pretty good friends.
You want to make friends with me?
Well, sure, we've been through a lot of the same things, so we can understand each other better than most.
Understand each other?
Yeah, we're both young, but we've been through some rough times.
I'm going to be blunt with you. You have not been through anything like I have.
No?
If you had experienced the things I have, you wouldn't be smiling right now. I haven't known you long, but I don't need to have in order to know how unequivocally dissimilar we are. That we were cut from a very different cloth.
Well, yeah, we're people. We're not made of cloth, so...
That's not what that means, you know.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be so harsh. In fact, I would say you're much better off not being in my position.
it sounds like you've been through a lot. If you don't mind me asking, what happened to you? I'd be happy to lend an ear. It might make you feel better to get it off your chest.
And that is what's so different about us.
Huh?
I will not tell you about myself, no. That said, I do appreciate the concern. Thank you.
Oh, you're sure welcome. She's not very open with people, huh? I guess that's only to be expected. She hasn't spent much time around other people looking the way she does. I wonder if there's anything I can do for her. At least get her to show a little bit of emotion. Say, if it's not too much to ask, do you think we could do this again sometime?
Don't expect me to lower my prices.
I'm not trying to squeeze a better deal out of you. I just want to get to know you better. Nothing more to it. No ulterior motives, I promise.
Did you forget I've already said I won't be telling you about myself?
Alright, then it doesn't have to be about you. We can talk about anything, whatever you want. Do you have a favorite food? Any hobbies?
Nothing in particular.
Well, that was a fruitful conversation. Okay. Crap.
I have no interests or tastes worth mentioning. So if you want to talk, I suppose that leaves you to be the subject.
Me?
Tell me about yourself.
My life's not all that exciting. Anything I tell you would probably just bore you.
I'm not looking for excitement.
Oh, okay. Well, alright, then I guess I can tell you about myself. And so I did. I told her about my family situation. I told her about Nellie. And that was pretty much all I had to talk about. For the most part, she hardly even reacted to anything I said, so it was difficult to tell if she was listening or not. But she would urge me to continue whenever I'd go quiet for more than a few moments. So I suppose she was listening.
Like your last Tinder date.
I'm not going to talk about myself. I'm not going to talk about the things I like. I'm not going to look at you. I'm not going to lower my prices. Did your Tinder date also say that she wouldn't lower her prices? Every time I came to purchase more medicine, I would go on a walk around the lake with her.
Like try to get blood from a stone. Yep. Cheeky
Hey, I can be clever sometimes. Like, once a year, maybe.
Once a year, your brain cells spark.
Once a year. The rest of the time I'm dumb as shit, but you know, sometimes. A single loop around the shoreline didn't give us much time to talk. My attempts to reduce our walking pace or stop to extend our time together were flatly ignored. And she refused to go around more than once, claiming it would disturb her daily rhythm. That said, she never refused an invitation either, so I don't think she particularly disliked me. Yet, anyway... Oh, a robin.
What does a robin have to do with your sister?
Nothing, I just saw one over there. If you listen, you can hear it singing. They migrate somewhere warmer when it gets cold. They just fly off someplace more comfortable. If I had wings like a bird, maybe I could be free too.
There is not a single living creature in this world that is free.
But
Birds regularly get shot down by hunters or preyed on by larger birds. The idea that they are free is nothing more than man's short-sighted delusion.
Sorry. I guess.
No, I should be apologising. I wasn't trying to attack you. I simply lack the ability to properly empathise with others. I do not understand people. So please, if I say anything that upsets you or makes you uncomfortable, don't assume that was my intention.
Sure. Maybe you're hiding it, or maybe you just don't know yet, but I think you've got more empathy than you're letting on. Surely you can't say nothing affects you at all. You are human. So you don't have to be so closed off. I might not be able to do that much for you. But I do want to get to know you better. I want to understand you. So if you ever feel like talking about yourself, just know that you've got an eager pair of ears here. Okay?
If there were ever someone who could understand me, who could empathize with me, they would not be human.
What do you mean?
That you would need to be far removed from any idea of humanity to have a chance at understanding me. Regardless, I do appreciate your kind words.
Sure. So, out of curiosity, do you have anyone really important to you in your life?
Not at the moment.
Does that mean you used to? I'd love to hear about them if you don't mind.
They're all long dead. 4 years ago, something unpleasant occurred, and as a result of that, I was forced to part ways with the people who taught me that humans have the capability for kindness.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well then, if your sister's condition worsens again, come see me. Farewell.
Hey, maybe we could walk a little slower next time, so we have more time to talk. I want to get to know you better.
I'll consider it.
Does it really require that much thought?
So long.
Bye. See you soon. Do you want to take a break? Have a smoke? I can get a cocktail. We can come back.
Sure.
Alright, folks. We will BRB. But you have Gizmo to keep you company.
Gizmo!
Gizmo! We have retorn.
Return. Hi. Welcome in, Bucket. I saw you showed up halfway through the break. Not late at all.
Perfectly on time.
Perfectly on time.
Oh.
Bucket is making bank in Stardew Valley.
Ooh, bacon bank. Well, it's a good thing we took off when we did. The motorcycle gang that likes to come over here and ride on the sidewalk while blasting the music really fucking loud came by during our break.
Yep.
And we would have had to have muted our audio because it definitely would have gotten us a copyright strike if we had been here, had the audio on, and you guys could have heard what was coming through the mic.
Yep. It was loud.
Anyway, time for game.
Time for a game.
Oh, you don't even have an optimal farm set up. I see. And yes, wine and cheese are a good investment. Oh, but the river farm is so pretty, though. Things continued on like that for a while. Nellie bounced back and forth between getting better and getting worse. Emotionally, I followed not too far behind, getting a little in the way of my peace of mind. Having spent so much time worrying about her and looking after Nellie was starting to wear me out. Even though I knew good and well that she had it much worse than me. I wanted to be done with it all. I wanted to be free. I wanted her to get better as soon as possible, so I could stop agonizing over her. So at some point, I started wishing for a miracle. I didn't care if it came from God, an angel, or something less holy. I just wanted someone to cure Nellie and take the weight off my shoulders. And during one of our walks, I let that slip. I'll take anything at this point to make her better. I'll even take a miracle if I can get one. I assumed she would, as she had a tendency to, say that people who believed in miracles were delusional. She was, in my mind, very much a realist, which is why her response left me surprised so very much. I think I just have the standard set up for my farm. I don't even remember, but I think it's just the standard farm.
I don't even remember what I picked when I did play it once.
I don't like the fishing in Stardew Valley, but that's just me. I'm very picky about fishing in games.
Yeah. Fishing in games is either done really well or really shit. Do you sincerely wish for a miracle?
You must have more patience than me, Anne, because couldn't be me. What?
V is the fishing feed. Do you truly want a miracle, no matter what form it may take?
Well, yeah. I've tried everything else. Oh, you hate it though?
Even though you've caught a few legendaries, I see.
I've caught some of the legendaries. I think I'm missing one. God is all I can ask for help anymore. I know what you're going to say. There's no such thing as miracles. I have mods, so I can marry multiple people. I need to look through and see if the most recent update has broken my polyamory mod. But I've currently got Sebastian, Sam, a character that's from one of the bigger mod expansions that I forget the name of. And I'm married to the wizard. Actually, I've got a mod that makes him romanceable, so I'm married to Sebastian, Sam, and the wizard, and then this one other girl. And then I've also got Krobus, I believe his name is, who lives with me as my best friend.
Your best friend.
I've also got a baby, but I don't know whose baby it is. Like, I'm assuming it has to be the girl and somebody, but, I mean, I guess it would be the girl and me, maybe, but fuck knows. I don't know when this baby showed up. I just, at one point, was paying attention. I'm like, wait, there's a baby. When the fuck?
When the fuck did a baby appear?
That's fair. Dyed hair, fall in love. It's me and Spirit. All the way. If there were, Nellie would already be better. Ooh, Krobus. Yes. I've prayed every single night for her recovery. It's all just a delusion, I know.
Miracles do exist.
What?
If you have faith and you sincerely wish for her to be healed, You will be granted your miracle.
What are you talking about, Morgana?
You've said many times that you wish to know more about me.
See, I don't know. I could never romance Mario because it's like I'm too busy romancing Sebastian, and I feel like that would get weird fast.
I see.
Do you know who Mario is?
No.
Her and Sebastian are related.
Uh,
So, marrying them both would be really weird.
yeah.
Yeah, I have.
Well, I'll grant you that wish. As you listen to my story, you will come to understand why I said you will never be able to empathize with me. And as you do, hope will sprout up within you.
A player. I mean, I'm a player when I play games too. I'm always like, how many people can I marry? How can I marry the most people?
What they don't know doesn't hurt them.
See, all mine know about each other. They all live in the same house. They kind of have to know about each other.
Yeah. Here in my lakeside cottage, I am known as a witch, but I did not used to be called such.
I've also married Deacon, Hancock, and Nick in Fallout 4.
Mm-hmm.
Married all three of them. Don't care. Pam Horse mod. Tell me more. I want to know about this mod. Yeah, I'd marry all the women. Marry them all. I would marry all the women except Maru and Robin. Pretty much. Oh, Pam is a horse, I see. You ride Pam. Okay. That's interesting.
That sounds funny.
I just assumed it was going to be like her driving a carriage or something instead of a bus, but no. No?
That does sound like a great mod.
My favorite mod is there's one where you can have Linus living inside your shipping bin and he just occasionally peeks up at you. It's so funny.
I am the daughter of God.
Most people would dismiss such a claim as madness, and I almost did exactly that. But there was something strangely enchanting about her voice, and I found myself slowly drawn into her tale, listening intently to her every word. The more I heard, the harder it was to believe she was lying. I think so. I think there is a mod for that. I've also got one where the fisherman is a mermaid instead. The guy who you buy the pennants from. He's the thing he's from. He's a mermaid. What? Oh, I see. He was just wanting to pet Sock. And before long, I was convinced she was the daughter of God, a saint whose blood had miraculous powers. And okay, we will be here. Her first cry ended a lengthy drought in the village where she was born, and her blood cured the sick. She rolled up one sleeve to show me her arm. Practically every inch of skin from her shoulder to the tips of her fingers were scarred from where she'd been cut. According to her, the scarring had once been far worse, but it had been improved with the application of an ointment. Every single one of those scars, she said, marked a person who had sought her blood, and I believed every word. There was something about her that set her apart from the rest of us normal people, like she was some higher being. They were not self-inflicted wounds, not the marks of someone who tried to take her own life, but symbols of great sacrifices that she had made. Sock, are you picking fights?
No picking fights.
I don't even see him. How are you picking fights? I heard her bouncing around, and she doesn't usually do that unless she's picking fights.
Mm-hmm.
She offered to give Nellie her blood, and without a moment's hesitation, I accepted.
Aw, poor bucket.
Oh, that sucks. I fucking hate when that happens.
It's the curse of our streams.
The curse.
The curse.
It's Morgana's curse.
Well.
The curse specifically given by Morgana. Hey Nellie, I'm back. And I brought someone with me, a saint.
A saint?
Yep, she's here because medicine hasn't been working for you. She can perform miracles, so she's going to cure you.
Miracles?
That's right, her blood has miraculous healing powers.
Blood? Fear not, my beloved sister. Hear my words and do as I say. You must have faith for the miracle to be performed correctly. I give you my blessing that it may bestow unto you salvation. I give you my love and I give you relief. Hear my words. I hear them. You feel the day your Wi-Fi goes completely. I completely get that.
Out of curiosity, do you live somewhere where, like, there's a bunch of people on the Wi-Fi, or is this just one household's worth of Wi-Fi and the Wi-Fi is just shite?
Yes, out of curiosity.
You don't have to answer if you don't want to. I'm curious what the situation is, because, I don't know, if it was our Wi-Fi that was that bad, I would be seeking another company.
Yeah.
If we could, at this address. Where we currently live, you are only allowed to use one Wi-Fi provider. The building does not let anyone else put the wiring in to be able to do it. So you have to use one very specific person.
Yeah.
Yes, 2-story apartment thingies.
So do you share your Wi-Fi with, like, another family?
Because if that's the case, that would explain why it's so bad.
Oh, I see.
Oh. Yeah, that would do it.
Yeah, that would do it. This body was created not in a mortal womb. This flesh is not the flesh of man, and this blood is not the blood of man. The water that flows through these holy veins flows from the rivers of creation. Have mercy on them, O Father. May the infirm find comfort in your warmth. May the destitute find reprieve in your generosity. May my flesh bring nourishment and health unto this girl. Bestow upon her your blessing, O Father.
Yeah, we've got one thing plugged in directly to the Wi-Fi, and that's my computer, because I do the heavier streams. With just streaming one little game or, like, the drawing, it doesn't take as much bandwidth. So he's able to do it on just the Wi-Fi alone. But I have a hardwired connection because I tend to be streaming lots of fancy stuff. So, you know, I've got, like, both of our cameras, and I've got the game and all the little assets I have that pop up. So, you know, I need the hardwired connection.
But me, no, I can survive on the Wi-Fi.
You survive on the tiny bits. Well, it's not even that tiny. We get, like, we get such good speed that the fucking internet speed test thing freaks out whenever it's trying to calculate it. It's like, whoa, you are over 500. This is crazy. What?
Yeah.
Morgana held a pale hand above Nellie's mouth and without hesitation sliced her wrist. Blood slowly trickled down her middle finger from the cut, dripping into the gap between Nellie's bluish lips. I stood there entranced by the scene, like I was witnessing some kind of ritual. Did you have an earring fall out?
Oh.
I wasn't sure, however, whether to describe it as sacred or profane. Watching the fresh blood trickle from the cut on her wrist made me break out with sweat, feeling like I was violating a taboo. My knees rattled and I could barely stay on my feet. Needles pricked my hands, thoughts slipped through my fingers before they could fully form. Had I crossed a line that wasn't meant to be crossed? Had I stepped into a territory man was never supposed to enter? In time, I stopped processing Morgana's prayers as words. It became nothing but a rhythmic sequence of sounds bouncing across my head. My line of sight grew gradually narrower. What?
Are you alright? The ceremony is complete.
How's Nellie?
She is asleep right now, but she should awaken soon.
Oh, good.
My blood has the power to cause miracles, but she must remember that the miracle is predicated on your grace.
I fucking hate that. I hate when churches tell you that crap. So are you saying we need to worship you?
No, I am merely God's progeny. Your praises and prayers should be directed at my Father, the Lord God. I should get going then.
Hey, thank you very much. When Morgana had said I would never be able to understand or empathize with her, she had not been lying. Having only heard her tell of it, I still believed there was some room for me to close the gap between us. That we still had enough in common. But seeing it with my own eyes, feeling it with my entire being, I no longer had any illusions of us being on the same plane. As I gave her my thanks, my voice was audibly trembling.
Mel, come on, get up, dearest Mel.
Mm.
Oh, Mel.
Nellie?
Finally, you're awake, sleepyhead. What's with the look? Am I making a funny face?
Are you good to be up and about?
Yep, I woke up this morning feeling wonderful. Feel my forehead, Mel. See? No fever.
It's gone. She actually performed a miracle.
I only remember bits and pieces, but I remember a really pretty saint lady showing up and giving me her blood.
That's how she remembers it? Her memory is pretty hazy, huh?
And then I got this warm, fuzzy feeling inside me, and then I had this really strange dream.
What kind of dream?
There were a whole bunch of lights floating all around me, and they were changing into all sorts of different colours. It was the most wonderful dream.
That doesn't really help me understand at all, Nellie.
It was a good dream, and that's what matters. It must have been the saint lady's power at work.
Must be, yeah. I'm so relieved you're feeling better, Nellie.
Sorry for all the trouble I caused you, but now everything can go back to normal.
Yep, all back to normal.
She wants to thank me.
Yeah, Nellie's insisting I let her meet you so that she can show you her gratitude. So if that's alright, would you mind coming to supper sometime?
That would probably not be wise.
Huh? Why not?
It would hardly be pleasant having to eat in the presence of a face as grotesque as mine, and I doubt your sister would react well to the sight of it.
I don't think it would cause any problems. Nellie isn't the kind of girl to judge someone for their looks, I don't think.
Perhaps not, but to her I'm a saint, not a normal person. In her mind, she thinks I'm beautiful, doesn't she? We must maintain that illusion. It is essential to the miracle that her faith remains unwavering, and on some level that faith depends on her idealized image of me.
You think so?
Though our time together was brief, I could see it in her. She is a girl with a great love of beauty. And perhaps the same could be said of you.
I don't judge people by how they look. It's what's inside that matters.
I'll take you at your word.
Thanks. So, are you sure you don't want to come?
I really shouldn't. I'm terribly sorry.
Oh, okay. Why in the world am I feeling relieved? Nellie recovering was a huge weight off my shoulders. Now everything could go back to the way it was, quiet and unremarkable. I could finally get out and get a real job, forget about my old life, and live like a regular old commoner. That was what I was going to do for the both of us. The problem was, Nellie hadn't actually recovered completely. She was in near-perfect health the first few days after drinking Morgana's blood, but soon her fever came back and she stopped being able to get out of bed, and to top it all off, she started having lengthy coughing fits. During some of them, she coughed up little bits of bloody phlegm. I nearly had a panic attack, so I rushed down to Morgana's cottage and told her what was happening, to which she responded with a quizzical tilt of her head. Nellie's health meant everything to me. It certainly wasn't the curiosity of her head tilt made it seem out to be, but it didn't seem to bother her at all.
The miracle took place, but it didn't persist. That doesn't make much sense.
But it's true, she can't get out of bed. And it's not a problem with her faith. I've been teaching her the Word of God every night, and she absolutely believes in you, her saint.
Lower your voice. I will perform another miracle for her.
You'll do it again?
I will not forsake those who are in need.
And it'll stick this time, right?
I cannot promise anything.
But why? Your miracles aren't supposed to be temporary, are they?
Whether they are or not is decided by you and your sister.
You're my only hope, though.
Please do not worry. If a second blessing is not enough to cure her of her ailment, then I will visit and give her my blood as many times as is necessary. I will gladly give her every last drop of blood in my body. I assure you, my father does not want to see two young souls like yourselves torn apart. And neither do I. We should get going.
All right. For the second time, Morgana had Nellie drink of her blood, and for the second time she was healthy again the next morning. and for the second time she fell ill again shortly thereafter. Her fever returned. I went to get Morgana, and she gave Nellie her blood. The cycle repeated again and again, and every time I had to watch her go through that ceremony, it was exhausting, and I wasn't sure I could handle it much longer. I started thinking maybe there wasn't anything sacred about any of this, that it was as blasphemous as it looked from the outside. I was making a girl cut her own wrist and feed my sister her blood. Nothing about that sounded right. But I had nowhere else to go, no one else to ask for help. When I was with Morgana, listening to her words of reassurance, she without fail wiped away all the doubt I had. It wasn't until after she left that the wave of regret hit me. I wasn't sure what was right and wrong anymore, and I wasn't sure what to do anymore. Every time I went to see Morgana, it got more and more difficult to look her in the eye. I stopped asking her on walks as often, and I stopped trying to have chats with her, not so much out of a sense of guilt, but because I was beginning to be afraid of her. One of those draining days, someone knocked at the door. I hadn't asked Morgana to come down that day, so I wasn't sure who it could be. Nellie was asleep in her bed, so I quietly rose from my seat and made my way to the door, trying not to wake her. Who is it? Hello, who's there? I had an inkling of a suspicion, but having been raised in such a sheltered environment, I didn't understand exactly how dangerous it was to thoughtlessly open the door to anyone who came knocking. I pulled the door inward a couple inches and tried to take a peek through the crack. When out of nowhere, someone grabbed me by the shoulder and shoved me, helpless to resist, into the house. A man stood there above me. What do you think you're doing? What do you want from me? I don't have anything valuable. I'm just a regular old peasant. I'm not here to rob you. What? You are in contact with the witch, are you not? Huh? The girl who lives by the lake calls herself a witch. Witch? I don't know any witch. I'm the only one who lives there is a saint. A saint? I was told she was a witch. But regardless, there's a girl who lives there with miracle blood, no? Looks like I've got the right person. What do you want from me? I want you to help me. Huh? I need you to lure the witch out into the open. And why do you need that? Because I need her blood. I need to get my hands on the witch's miracle blood. Then go ask for it yourself. Why should I have to help you? She won't open the door for me. But you, I've seen talking to her. You seem to be quite friendly with that witch. Taking little walks around the lake. How? I need your help. And what are you going to do once you have her outside? I have orders from the Lord to take her captive. But the Lord, why would he? That is none of your concern. You expect me to buy that? All I need for you is to get the witch out of that house. Why would I? She doesn't trust me. I could force my way in, but there's a chance something might go wrong, and I can't risk that. If she hears your voice, she'll open the door, yes? The witch trusts you, unlike me. With your help, there's no risk of anything going wrong. You barged in here and tell me you want to capture her, and you think I'm just going to agree to help? Like hell I will! Oh, don't worry, you'll get your share. You need the witch's blood too, right? I don't care about getting a share. You're asking me to deceive her. I don't care what you think she is. She hasn't done anything wrong, so no, I won't help you capture her. You leave me no choice, then. But, He approached the bed where Nellie slept, drawing his sword and pressing the tip against her throat. It happened so quickly without any warning that my mind couldn't keep up. I stood there, mouth half open like an idiot. If I were courageous, if I were gallant and brave, then maybe I would have grabbed him and pulled him away from Nellie. But my legs seemed to be severed from my mind. They were frozen to the floor like two useless rocks. You have two options. Either you say no and protect the witch. Get away. Or you help me capture her. Get away from her right now. And if you choose the witch, I kill the girl. Get away! Make your decision. Get away from her. You have until the count of 10. If you don't choose, I kill the girl. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Okay, I'll do it. I'll help you. So get your sword out of her face. Don't kill her. I thought you'd hold out until the last second. Well, what are you waiting for? Let's get going. Get moving. You pitiful little boy. I felt like jumping into the lake. I couldn't make sense of how I ended up in such a position. Just a few months earlier, I'd been living back at my family's estate, hardly a worry in the world. Nellie had been healthy and happy. It hadn't been exciting, no, but I had figured that's how things would always be. That one day I would fall for some noble girl, Nellie would get jealous, and I would have to spend several days or even weeks pacifying her. Everyone would be happy, a life free of troubles. Because that was normal, and I was normal. So what was I doing living in some tiny cottage so far from home, feeding my sick sister Miracle Blood? What was I doing walking beside this barbarian? What was I doing at all? I was conflicted. Part of me hoped we would never arrive at the lake, and part of me wanted to get there as quickly as possible so I could be done with all this. But time plodded no quicker or slower than normal, and we arrived at Morgana's door in short order, irrespective of my own selfish hopes. The thought of what was going to happen next filled me with a crushing sense of guilt. I may have been afraid of Morgana, but I had no grudge against her. I was actually quite grateful to her. She was still healing Nellie, even if the ceremony to do so inspired fear in me. She didn't hesitate to cut her own wrist open for Nellie or for me. She didn't grimace or even frown, though I knew it had to hurt. I knew damn well she wasn't a bad person, that she hadn't done anything to be warranted be taking her into custody. She might have very well been a genuine saint. But there I was, selling her out because a man with a sword threatened me. Oh, Father who art in heaven, please forgive me for what I'm about to do. Please, please forgive me. Quit sniveling. You want her to get suspicious. But ow. I can't, please, oh God. Stop crying. Or would you rather I kill you here? Just close your eyes. It'll be over before you know it. Do it. Call on the witch.
Who's there?
It's me. I'm not here about Nellie today. I'm sorry for being so distant lately. I want to talk things over. I thought I heard a faint gasp through the door, and then she responded.
I want to talk to you too.
Why? Why did she have to want to talk now? She'd always been so curt, so rational, so quick to cut down my fantasies. Never one to get emotional or sentimental. She'd always given off the impression of being something greater than we mere humans were. Always being so aloof, never giving any indication that she thought anything of me at all. So why did she sound like a normal girl now? Why was her voice trembling slightly when she said she wanted to talk? Why now of all times?
Get back. No, stay away from me. No. Help. Don't kill me.
What? That's your share. Should last you long enough.
How, why did you take my arm? What do you mean by share? Why?
It all happened in less than a minute. I told her I wanted to talk, she opened the door, and then I heard a sound like a wind whipping past my ear. And the next thing I knew, her cottage was covered in blood. Never once did I expect anything to happen how it did. When he said he wanted to capture her, I took it to mean exactly that. I hadn't thought it would turn brutal, that he would do something so horrific. And the man cut her arm off. Morgana toppled to the floor, pondering about as he watched, blood trickling down the curved blade in his hand. Her screams were indistinguishable from those of a normal person. Her arm. Kneeling in the grass at the lakeshore, I vomited and I vomited and I vomited. The things I had seen in the cabin were far too much for me to handle. I tossed the arm, Morgana's arm, the man had given me, into the lake. What else was I supposed to do with it? It was an arm, a human arm. You'd have to be going insane carrying around someone's severed arm like that. I tried to convince myself it was all a dream, some terrible nightmare, but I could still feel the warmth of her skin fresh in my hands. The warmth of her blood on my fingers dragging me back to reality. My mind couldn't keep up with the flood of thoughts and emotions and images. I wanted to close my eyes, but I was too afraid I would find the bloodbath of the cottage at the back of my eyelids, which left me with nothing to do but wail. I was horrified at what I had done. I knew that I was the one who'd set it all in motion. If I had kept quiet, Morgana wouldn't have had her arm cut off. But I didn't want to admit that it was my fault. I didn't want to accept that I had caused it. I did nothing wrong. It's not my fault. He threatened me. So it's not my fault. I had no choice. I didn't do anything. I frantically scrubbed my blood-soaked clothes in the lake. As I watched the red clouds spread, I knew I was defiling something pure and beautiful, but my awareness of that fact was slowly dissipating like the blood through the clear water. By the time I'd gotten all the blood off my clothes, the sun was beginning to set. I came back to my senses at the sound of a bird chirping and quickly recalled that I'd left Nellie all alone at the house. My legs were shaking and I could barely keep myself upright, but remembering her gave me enough motivation to drag myself back home. If she hadn't been there waiting for me, I seriously might have thrown myself in the lake instead.
Mel? What's the matter up there, Mel? Where have you been? Mel?
I'm so sorry.
What?
I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Will you ever be able to forgive me?
Dearest Mel?
I never meant for this to happen. I'm sorry, please, I'm begging you to forgive me. I'm begging you.
Were you not able to get my medicine? Is that what you're crying about? It's not that big a deal, Mel. I'm just fine. Honest. I'm alright.
Thanks. I wanted to forget everything. I wanted to forget about my involvement, about the horrific things that I'd caused to happen. But whenever I lay down to sleep, I heard her screams, Morgana's animalistic howls. I saw her cottage, blood splattered everywhere. I felt her severed arm still warm in my hand. From that day on, what sleep I got was hardly restful. Nellie probably didn't notice anything through her feverish haze, but I'm willing to bet I looked like hell. Praying time would cause the memory to fade. I started looking for doctors again. Instead of clinging to a miracle, I would try to have Nellie's sickness cured the way the normal people did. At some point, though, all the money I'd been given started running low. If I thought about it for 2 seconds, I would have seen it coming. I hadn't exactly been frugal in my attempts to find a cure for Nellie, nor had I been especially concerned about my money before she fell ill. I was so used to living like an aristocrat I hadn't succeeded in breaking those old habits. Which left me with one thing I could do for Nellie. Be with her day in and out. Every day that passed, I lost a little more hope. If I couldn't do anything and Nellie died, I would be utterly alone. And that was what scared me more than anything. The nightmares were eating away at me, leaving me with nowhere to run. And if I didn't have someone there with me, I wouldn't be able to hold myself together. After 3 or so days of me sitting by Nellie's bedside, hardly moving, there was a knock at the door. Who's there? Who is it? Open the door. Unless you want me to kick it down. My suspicion was correct. I couldn't think of anyone else who would come to visit. But what I didn't know was why he'd come back. I don't want anything to do with you anymore. Open the door. Leave me alone, please. I want nothing to do with anything you're doing. Open the door. No, I'm not letting you in for any reason. Okay then, I'll break it down. Don't. My sister's inside sleeping. I don't need you waking her up. Then open it. What do you need? I did everything you asked me to do already. What happened to the witch's arm? I threw it away. You really think I was going to keep that? A person's arm?
Mel, what's going on? Do we have a visitor?
Nellie.
I should get them something to drink.
Don't worry about it, Nellie. You get some sleep, alright? Can we go outside? I'd really rather not talk in here. Fine by me. So is that your sister? Explains why you look so much alike. That's none of your damn business. You wanted miracle blood to cure your sick sister, did you not? And you're telling me you threw the arm away? Are you interested in getting more blood? What? We're taking the witch's blood, turning it into a medicine, and selling it through the church. Selling it? You're doing business at a house of worship? No. I suppose we're technically giving it away, but we're asking for tithes, so it's really the same thing. I'm not from this land, so to me, it looks no different than a business, but to the people here, they see it as charity. The Lord says if you'll assist us, he'll provide you with the medicine we're making. The Lord? Why would the Lord be? Hell if I know. Because it seems like good money. So will you help us? You're gonna make me get my hands dirty for you again. I can't. Not again. Oh, right. I forgot to mention one detail. You don't have a choice this time. Huh? You know about the miracle blood, which means we can't let you go unattended. If you say no, I have permission from the Lord to kill you on the spot. Why? So will you help us? Or will you die here? What was the right thing for me to do then? Should I have fought back and died? Should I have tried to run? Should I have taken my own life? I'm sure you've heard enough to know by now that I'm a weakling, a pushover. I didn't have the spine to do anything but agree to meet with the Lord. He told me about the mansion, and he gave me one of the sets of the 3 keys. I wanted so badly to get rid of the key, but with that man's shadow constantly hanging over me, I couldn't bring myself to do it. Not when I could be the next one to end up losing a limb or two. There was no way I could have disobeyed them. And that's everything that happened 6 months ago. Every day since I arrived here, I've brought Morgana breakfast and supper. She doesn't say anything, but I saw it in her eyes the first time I stepped through that door. How could you do this to me? I never looked her in the eyes since, because I'm too afraid of what I might see in them. And that is how I ended up here.
So he was threatened. He didn't actually want to cause Morgana harm.
That doesn't excuse what he's done, though. See, what did I tell you? I'm not at all the brother you thought I was. Mock me, ridicule me. Call me worthless, a coward, a terrible person. Go on, what are you waiting for?
But you were threatened, Mel. He said he would hurt me, hurt you. That's the only reason you went along with him. You didn't do anything wrong, did you, Mel? The other man is the bad guy, not you. You did the best you could. You didn't have a choice. That terrible man forced you to do everything.
Nellie.
You didn't do anything wrong, did you, Mel?
No, I didn't. I didn't do anything wrong. I had no choice. That's not true. All you're doing is closing your eyes. What? You mustn't coddle yourself. Well, what am I supposed to do then?
Don't be mean to my Mel.
Did you really do the best you could? Did you even once try to do something about the situation, as hopeless as it may have seemed? Could you not even conceive of any other options? Could you not have come up with something else to say at Morgana's house? Something that might have given her even the slightest clue she was in danger? But when she opened the door, did you do anything? Did you even so much as attempt to stop him? My legs were shaking so bad I couldn't move. There's no way I could have stopped him. Then at the very least, you shouldn't have fled. You should have stayed and told her the truth. That you weren't there willingly, and maybe she wouldn't have felt so utterly betrayed. But he was there. You think I could have actually stayed there with him? Not a chance. And that's not like Morgana would have... She opened the door because she trusted you. She isn't the easiest person to read, but she was opening up to you. And what did you do with that trust?
Stop it. Please, you've made your point. It's not all Mel's fault either. If anything, he's a victim. He was just trying to protect me.
Were you listening to anything he said, Nellie? You were not Mel's first priority. He did what he did for his own sake. Well, what did you expect me to do? Pull courage I don't have out of thin air? What's so wrong with self-preservation? There was nothing I could have done to stop him. I'd love to see you try and do any better. Then maybe you'd understand how scared I was. How little I could have done. It must be nice to be an outsider, to talk about my experiences like you know anything, analyze my decisions and go on about what I should have done. You don't have a damn clue about how terrifying it all was. How it felt having to go through it. Oh yeah, you're right. It sure would have been the courageous thing to do to sacrifice your life for someone else. But you know what? People like that only exist in stories. Except you don't actually understand that. You just want to give me crap for not being perfect. Do you want my pity? Is that all you want? If I tell you I feel bad for you and how hard it must have been, will that satisfy you? Do you not want to know what you can do now? What's even left to do? Nothing I do is going to make her situation any better. It won't make her arm come back. All is not yet lost. Open your eyes. Take a good long look inside yourself. Think about what you can do. Stop sitting on your hands telling yourself it's too late. There's still time to make a difference. You just have to commit to act. I don't think that you're especially bad or a cowardly person. I think you're an ordinary young man. It might sound like I'm telling you to do the impossible. But soon time will come when you must make your choice. When you must stand up and take some responsibility for what you've done. No one's childhood lasts forever. The good days are long behind you before you ever realize that they've even passed. When faced with consequences for your actions, you should not have turned and run, but held yourself accountable. It is perhaps a disproportionately large burden for you to bear, but fast approaching, and you need to make a decision. Find your courage. Could you get the ceiling pen? I'll keep pressing the button. Set Morgana free. Mel. It's Nellie time.
It's Nellie time. Mel?
But even if I open the door for her, it's too little too late. She'll never forgive me after... Is her forgiveness the reason you should act? No, it's penance for what you've done to her. Atonement for your sins. Whether she forgives you or not is beside the point. The question is on the table right now, and it's whether or not you're going to do the right thing. And what about her blood? Without Saint's blood, Nellie won't.
You don't have to worry about me, dearest Mel. My life isn't so important that I want to take someone else's away to keep it. I'll think about what I can do to help too. It's partially my fault after all. So please, Mel, set the scientist free.
Your quiet life is built on a foundation of lies. And I know that by now you've realized there's no real value in a life like that. You wanted to do something about this. You sought salvation. Salvation. But who would give it to me? I already told you I would. But why? Because I promised you. And you expect me to believe that? Yes. If you choose to sit here and wallow in your regret, there's no going back. Now is your only chance to make a change. Mel. All right. I'll help. I'll help you set her free.
Dearest Mel.
I knew all along that that was what I needed to do, but I could never bring myself to act upon it. There was no way I could accomplish anything alone. I'm basically helpless on my own. Everything about this is so completely outside anything I've ever dealt with before. So I had no way of having any idea that what I was supposed to do about it. God can be so cruel. Why would he force a boy like me to make such a difficult choice? Yes, he can be. You were made to be part of a more normal, less tumultuous world. But you've come too far to go back to that. So the least you can do is change the world you're in now. Yeah. I doubt I need to remind you, but you can't get in with only my key. You need all three, and the other two, they don't feel an ounce of remorse. Taking their keys won't be so easy. Easy or not, we have to get them. And I'm sure there's a way there must be. Just so we're clear, you're not going to overpower them. The guy with the sword's much stronger than you, and he knows how to use a blade. And he's the Lord's bodyguard, so you're not getting near the Lord either. Even the two of us together wouldn't stand a chance against him. You seem pretty weak from the looks of you. Who knows, maybe I am stronger than you. God, do I really want to hit this boy?
Deep breaths, Michael, deep breaths.
There must be some way we can get their keys. I know they both have people they're close to. Huh? People they're close to? We can talk about that later. Now that you've made your decision, talking with me isn't your top priority, is it?
Mel?
Nellie. I'm sorry for involving you in all this. And I'm really sorry for being, well, what I am. I'm no prince, that's for sure. No, Mel, Darrell, and Giselle. Flippin' hell.
Oh, so many L names. You always were my prince, though, dearest Mel. You did your best to be the brother I wanted you to be.
Honestly, I adore the way you fawned over me. All that affection just felt good. Sorry.
What?
It made me feel like I was special, important. Having someone to care for, to pamper, it was empowering. That's the kind of guy your brother is. If some other girl were to show up and start calling me her prince and say she loved me, I would probably try and act like a prince for her too.
Why would you say that?
Because all this has been hard on me, such a weight on my shoulders, that every so often I would think just how much easier it would have been if I could just get rid of her. If Morgana was just a regular girl and not a saint or a witch or any of that, just a pretty girl about my age, she might have been the one getting all my attention instead of you. That's who I am.
That's not you, dearest Mel. You're just beating yourself up.
No, that's who he is. He pretty much described that in his story. He just wants whoever's gonna talk him up. If it's gonna be Nellie, if it's gonna be Michael, if it's gonna be Morgana, could be anybody.
Yep.
The swordsman could probably flirt with him and he'd take it.
Yeah.
He does not care where the attention comes from. He just wants the attention on him.
Yep.
He's very selfish.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he's a bad person per se. I think that he's been faced with some very tough choices, but he's definitely not a good person or an altruistic person.
No.
I would say he's painfully average. Very flawed, yeah. A flawed person, definitely. He's not bad. I feel like some other characters in this game are straight up bad.
Yeah.
He's not bad.
No.
He is deeply flawed, but he's definitely not a good person.
No. Maybe you would have chosen her over me, but that wouldn't make you any less of a kind man.
How can you say that after everything I've told you?
Because, Mel,
Tell me how despicable I am, Nellie. I'm not the brother you once adored anymore, am I?
You're not what I thought you were, but you're still my one and only brother. That will never change, no matter what kind of person you become. It was wrong of me to try and make you into my prince, Mel. I should have done my job as your one and only sister in the whole wide world, being there to help you as much as you helped me. I kept pushing my fairy tale fantasies onto you, and you did your best to live up to them. And I ended up forcing you to pretend to be someone you're not.
That's not true, Nellie. I enjoyed feeling idolized.
But you knew it couldn't last forever, didn't you? I should have been beside you, not looking up at you. I let you coddle me, I let myself indulge in your love. I thought everything would be alright as long as you kept telling me how adorable I was. They were like magic words to me. I kept my eyes shut. Well, starting today, I'm going to do my best to be your sister. I'm all done holding you to fairy tale ideals. I won't make you pretend to be a prince for me anymore. And I won't try to be your princess either. I'm just going to be your little sister. So get back on your feet and stand tall, dearest Mel. I know you'll probably have to pay for what you've done when the Saintess goes free. And I know I'll probably cry about it for days. But I won't regret making the decision.
Well, I don't know what to say. Nellie is too pure for this world. There's a later version of her that you see, a version of her from the future, where she is absolutely batshit fucking crazy.
Unhinged.
She actually cuts someone's scalp off and wears it on top of her head while she tries to screw Mel. So, like here, before the curse has warped her, she is really sweet.
Yeah.
Once the curse warps her, holy fuck.
Yeah, once the curse gets to her, then holy shit is she unhinged. But her original form, she is pure.
Yeah, she is so pure. And it's like, it's crazy how much the curse fucking warps her.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to see the version of her from the future, if you go back on our YouTube channel, because the VODs are going to be so old, they're not going to be here anymore. If you go for door 1, you can see more of Nellie. And you can see what the curse does to her because it ruins her so much.
It does, yeah.
Honestly, I don't feel like it does that much to Mel.
No.
Like, I feel like he stays roughly the same.
Yeah.
There's another person who I think stays roughly the same. But I can't say who because we've not seen everything that they've done yet.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what to say. I wasn't expecting you to handle this so maturely. Yes, son? ... You have thoughts there, son? You're putting your big brother to shame, Nellie.
Mother once told me that girls grow up faster than boys.
She was right about that.
Why, Nellie? Why?
Why? Why?
Teach me why.
Thank you, Nellie, for accepting me in spite of all the awful things I've done. That's why the title for today's stream, by the way, was The Return of Yuka, because we acknowledge the fact that she is kind of sweet here, but one, she makes that marriage comment.
Yeah.
And two, we can't forget who she was behind door one.
Yeah.
Like, door one, her oh. And for having me as your brother.
You're quite welcome, dearest Mel. Oh. Well, it looks like that's one problem solved.
They finally reached a point in their relationship where they belong.
The son doesn't want to deal with not Yuka or Yuka.
No more Yukas.
No more Yukas.
She could have come to terms with herself sooner, come to an understanding with him, and then maybe she could have reeled in her ideals before she lost control.
Yeah, maybe. This Nellie and the other Nellie seem to be of the same essence. They both have a somewhat excessive love for their brothers, and that love expressed itself by transforming him into a prince.
If she could have done the same thing as she did here, then maybe their tragedy could have been avoided.
This is before then, though. Since they were able to fix things up in this life, maybe it'll have a positive effect on the next life. This could change the future.
They may share the same souls, but they lived completely different times. Do you really think something like this could have any effect on the lives of people hundreds of years from now?
There's no way to be certain, of course. But considering how tightly the two seem to be bound, I doubt it will have no effect. I hope it has some effect.
Giselle.
I was there, in the mansion as it all happened, and I just stood by and watched. I feel so guilty about that. If I had done something, then maybe it wouldn't have turned out like that. I hate what I was then. What I was until just recently. From the memories left imprinted throughout the mansion, I showed you bits and pieces of their lives. And as I told you their tale, the only thing I contributed was disparaging commentary.
I don't feel like you were that critical of them.
I absolutely was. I talked about them like they were somehow beneath me.
Yes, you did offer an opinion of someone, or you did offer an occasional opinion on someone or something that you showed me beyond the doors. But the fact that you were mostly detached from the events there is what allowed me to get to the core of their characters. No more Yuka.
No more Yuka.
If you hadn't been in the position you were so that you could tell me the story the way you did, I never would have been able to talk them into helping. You contributed more than criticism. Your words weren't for nothing. They made this possible.
It makes me feel a lot better hearing that from you.
And if you still regret your inaction, then make up for it now by taking action here and have faith it will bear fruit in their next lives.
I will. I wonder if Morgana might have a change of heart too. It's not like Mel wanted to bring her so much pain. He deeply regrets what he did, so maybe she won't bear quite as much resentment for him when she learns that. Yes, I know what you're going to say. If that was enough to assuage her, she wouldn't have held on to her hatred for all those hundreds of years. Still though, I hope it does something for her, however small.
As do I. It's gotten pretty late, so I'm going to take Nellie back to the cottage. Okay. If you have some secret plan for getting the other 2 keys, could you fill me in on it tomorrow? Sure. Also, I could get you another room if you wanted. This one isn't the nicest. Oh, no, it's fine. I've come to realize I'm more at home in less comfortable environments.
Michael.
Am I just imagining it, or was that depressing as all hell? That's not quite what I was going for. Well, anyway, if you're fine with it, suit yourself. But, say... I've got one huge lingering question, if you wouldn't mind enlightening me. Yes? Why would you go to such lengths for me? You okay?
Yes, I'm reading Mr. White's comment. What do you mean by MPD?
I'm not familiar with the acronym, but, you know, I'm also just a dummy, so... Oh, like DID, okay. So, yes and no. There is a sense of that, but it's not really explained itself yet. There is somebody who is implied to be another personality for Morgana, but because she's a ghost, this other form has taken a body before while she was the ghost. So hopefully that kind of answers the question. I think the game gets more into it right after this door, but I'm not exactly certain.
Yeah. It makes sense to have that kind of assumption based off of the name.
Plus, if you really think about it, 2/3 of the games that we're playing regularly right now have some character with the ID in them.
Yeah.
Because we've got this one, and then we've got Toko and Jack and Danganronpa.
Mm-hmm.
And then a little bit later, in another Danganronpa, it's gonna pop up again. So
yeah,
it's just a common thread in the games we're playing right now, purely by coincidence.
Yeah.
You seem to know Morgana, so I can understand why you'd be fighting for her. But me, I had a part in putting her in that tower. You have every reason to hate me. So why would you want to help me? If this was all it took for me to hate someone, I would curse every last man and woman in the world. I bear no animosity for you. And even if I did, you've committed to taking action. That doesn't explain why you were so concerned about us. It almost seemed like you actually care about me and Nellie. But we're complete strangers, we just met today. Because some part of me couldn't think of you as strangers anymore. Huh?
That's right. When he came by this afternoon to talk, he didn't feel like a stranger to me either. It was weird. Like he'd known me my whole life. So I made him into my second brother.
Your second brother? You're more than welcome to change the order, Nellie. Slash silly. Silly. Make him number 2 and make me number 1.
Oh, I wish I could join in and be big sister number 1. I'll have to think about it. After all that, you might be number 1 material.
I mean, I guess if you think about it, in this door, there's that weird dynamic with Giselle and Michael.
Yeah.
The fact that they're two souls inhabiting the same body right now.
Yeah.
Like, not in a DID sense, just in a he's possessed sense.
He's possessed.
He's fucking possessed. Whoa. Why is that even up for consideration?
I'm just kidding, Data Smell.
Oh. I'm still kind of confused, but anyway, I'm glad someone like you showed up. I've actually been praying every night for God to send someone who can get me out of this. I really am useless all on my own, constantly looking up for someone to help me, unable to do anything by myself. And trust me, I realize how pathetic that is. Now, you must have had a pretty good life to be able to do something so proactive in the face of adversity. A good life, he says.
A good life.
Hum.
Hum.
That's definitely an interesting way to, I mean, you're wrong. You're wrong. But, I mean, it's definitely an interesting train of thought. But, wrong. So I'm waiting for my phone to do a Google search, taking fucking forever, but I was trying to look up, because I'm like, I was curious what the title of this even means.
Mm.
Do you know what a Fata Morgana is? So, according to Google, it's Italian, and it's a complex form of the superior mirage visible in the narrow band right above the horizon. So it's like right above, like if you're looking at like the horizon in the water, it's like that right above the water vision. It's like a mirage almost. Apparently it's taken from Arthurian legend. Right. It's the Italian translation of Morgan the Fairy from the King Arthur tale.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess that really does describe the mansion.
Yeah.
Kind of a glimpse there on the horizon. Is it real? Is it not real? Who fucking knows?
Yeah.
But, you know, I got curious, so now you know.
The more you know.
The more you know. I bet you had everyone's respect, helped people in need, and had plenty of friends who had your back. And you weren't tossed out by your family like I was. Mel. Mel, how... Like, I am dumb. I am an idiot, okay? Like, I am proud to be dummy boy. But holy fuck, Mel, you're making me look smart. You are making me look so smart right now.
Yeah, it's like in between.
Yeah, the house of the in-between, basically. Because the house is in reality, but also not of reality. Sometimes it's in the real world, and there are people who are actually living in it. But sometimes it's in this, like, spiritual, ethereal plane. Also, the house canonically moves around the continent. It moves continents, plural, actually. Because I want to say it's in England, just south of... It's, like, northern England, just south of Scotland at one point. And then it's in... It's either France or Spain. I keep wanting to say France, but I think it's Spain. I think it's Spain. We did a poll about this.
Yeah.
But it's also in Spain. And then it's in America on the east-ish coast somewhere. Like, it's not East Coast, but, like, it's not the West. It's, like, the Midwest, East Coast general area.
Yeah.
But this house actually moves around. So for the first tale, I don't even think we know exactly. No, it wasn't France, because it's in France for Michael's tale. Yeah. So it is in France at some point. It's in France, and then it's in England, and then Spain, and then America. And now it's just kind of floating in the middle of fucking nothing.
Yeah.
But no, I was like, that was why I'm confused in Spain and France, because it does go to France at some point, because that's where the house actually started, was in France.
Yeah.
Because Bollinger is French.
Mm.
You must have been incredibly blessed. I'm jealous, really. Sorry, that came out of nowhere, I know. Well, I should be going. I'll see you tomorrow.
Good night, Michael. Brother number 2.
Brother Poopy.
Brother Poopy.
Good night.
Michael? He wasn't trying to be...
Yes, I know. I just thought it was rather fun. I'm not taking a stand because I've been blessed, but because I've got nothing left to lose. I fight for Morgana because I understand what it's like to be tortured day after day. Having experienced the loss of my siblings, I didn't want the two of them to go through the same thing. If anything, it's those who have lost the most that are most likely to take action. That is very much a true statement. Like, people who have everything and have never wanted for anything don't tend to be very compassionate because they don't understand the need for compassion.
Yeah.
but you can be a more empathetic and compassionate person if you've gone through some shit. Whether it's a lot of shit or it just feels like a lot of shit, you know, either way. Because, you know, sometimes you go through shit and it feels like a lot of shit at the time, but you get past it, it's not actually that massive.
Yeah.
But whether it's actually a lot of shit or it just feels like a lot of shit, you go through that kind of experience and it really does shape you into a more compassionate, resilient person. Because you either break under the pressure completely or you become really, really strong. Very rarely will you stay the same.
Yeah.
And I like to hope that that's who I am, that through all of the crap I've gone through, that I've become compassionate and resilient. There are definitely times where I still feel weak and have my moments. But, you know, I would like to think that I've gotten better. And I've become a better person in spite and because of all of the things that have happened to me.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you've realised it or not, Michael. But you've gotten to be a great deal more expressive since arriving in this era.
He really has.
I can't see your face, but I can hear it in your voice, and I can feel it in your presence. So I'm sure it's showing there too. Making all sorts of faces I've never seen before. Some of the things you've lost, you seem to be getting back. So you can't say you've got nothing left to lose anymore. Promise me you'll let me see all these new faces for myself someday.
I will, I promise. If I can manage to destroy that mansion, that should release you from its darkness. And allow us to see each other once again.
I trust you. I have faith we can do this.
Wait, but with the mansion's destruction, both our souls should be returned to their rightful places. Which would mean erased from existence. Giselle?
What?
I just thought I sensed you grimacing.
Wow, you felt that?
What's the matter?
Sorry, I didn't want to bring down the mood. It's just, well... And I know this is asking for the moon, but... I was just thinking it would be nice if you had a life you could go back to.
If I did?
Yeah, I mean... Here you are, expressive as you've ever been, walking around outside, being around other people, talking to them, after all that time in the mansion. And without a life of your own to go back to. I'm sorry. I just, after seeing behind your door and learning how cruel and inhumane life was to you, I feel like the world could stand to do something good to make up for it.
It's done all the good it needs to. I have someone who cares enough to lament my fate. What more could I ask for?
Michael.
Thank you, Giselle. You're not the only one who's asking for the moon either. I wish I could have a life with you as the person I am now. And for that, knowing I have no future, feels worse now than ever before.
Alrighty, that's enough moping around for one night. We should start planning for tomorrow. Things are definitely looking up. And it only took one day to get Mel on our side. So let's keep it up and win over the other two.
I would certainly like to, yes.
Where did all that confidence go?
The other two won't be nearly as easy to convince as Mel was. I'm not even sure we'll be able to talk them into helping.
We do have a pretty good idea who the swordsman's in this for. So, the nun. So maybe we can get to him through her, like we did today with Nellie and Mel.
Maybe. Alright, then we'll start by approaching her tomorrow.
Sounds like a plan.
The Lord, though, him I'm not sure about. I'm assuming he's from behind the third door. But we didn't run into anyone he was close with today. And in Morgana's telling of the events of the Harvest Festival, she only mentioned 5 people.
Let's see. The Lord, the Swordsman, Mel, Nellie, and the nun.
There's one person unaccounted for.
We just haven't run into them yet, that's all. If he's the man from the third door, I can't imagine she won't be here too.
Who's losing their confidence now? In any event, tomorrow we talk to the nun. I only hope it goes as well as it did today.
You've got me. You don't have anything to worry about. Or, all things considered, you might not even need me.
No, I wouldn't say that.
You handled Mel pretty amazingly though. I'm not going to lie, my heart was pounding the whole time. I was afraid you were going to slip up and say something boneheaded. But you managed to keep it together, and I didn't have to come to the rescue.
Oh, but he did say something boneheaded. Don't you remember, Giselle? When he died?
I'm done.
Well...
I can make a book of quotes out of your performance today.
Oh, for the love of God, please don't.
So I'm not concerned at all. Say whatever you think is the right thing to say. I'm more than happy to sit back and watch.
The more you pile on the expectations, the more it makes me afraid I'm going to trip up. Besides... I don't think I could have done any of that without you.
Why not?
Well, my life was hardly as pride-worthy as Mel made it sound. So I didn't really feel right, like I had the right to talk to him like that. But knowing you were there urging me on is what allowed me to act without hesitation. So, thank you.
No thanks necessary. But if you say so, then you're more than welcome. I'm glad I could be of assistance, if just a little.
That you were.
Now let's keep this momentum up tomorrow. It's getting a bit late though, so you should probably get some sleep. What is it?
I kind of don't want to sleep.
Why not?
For somewhat childish reasons.
Oh, are you sad you won't be able to hear my voice? Are you lonely, you poor dear?
I am.
What? That's the last thing I expected you to admit to. Okay. Well, do you want to stay up and talk for a little longer then? Not too long though, you do need to rest up for tomorrow. And who knows, maybe I'll show up in your dreams if you wish hard enough.
And this is where we are Saveing. Well, we are running out of Save spots.
We are.
Oof. We are almost out of Save spots, people. Do you think we're gonna make it to the end of the game? Almost out of spot. Ah! Anyway, would you like to talk about the week?
We will be back tomorrow with Resident Evil 6. No. We will be, what is it, chapter 4, 5? One of the two. Of,
Hold. Resident Evil 6, chapter 4.
Chapter 4.
And then chapter 5 for the next one.
Okay. 4 of Chris and Pierce's route in Resident Evil 6. And then on Friday we will be starting chapter 5 of Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. And then Saturday is social. So yes, because
Kevin was the sporadic.
Kevin was the last one. There's a will and incest, there's a wait, yeah. That does seem to be a very common theme in some of these games, doesn't it? Yes. What?
The sheer number of games we've played that have featured incest.
Yeah.
We promise no one is into it. We promise.
We promise. Okay.
Except for maybe the developers, who knows? I don't know what they think.
Yeah. Bye, Ann.
Bye. Anyway,
yes.
I think that's about it for our schedule.
Yes.
Maybe there will be art stream next week, who knows?
Should be.
Also, not this week, but next week, we'll have special guests for a couple of our streams, provided we're able to have them. For Friday and Saturday, we may have somebody with us.
Yes.
Maybe. If she can be fucked.
Yeah.
If she can be fucked into showing up.
Yeah.
Maybe. Will she be in here with us doing the stream? Will she be in the living room playing with the cats? Who fucking knows?
Who knows? You'll find out when we do. Yes.
Anyway, keep it creepy.
Keep it weird.
And most importantly,
stay
queer. Bye-bye. Bye.